Hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful people. This is 70 Severance once again. It's been a while since I've made a video, but I am back to educate you guys. Now, I posted I posted an image of this a couple days ago, maybe a week. Can't really remember. Um, and I posed a question, can anybody explain this to me? I didn't get any responses. So, yeah. So, let's break down what this is. Everybody knows what these functions are, right? So, how this is going to work is, have you guys ever heard? I'll give you a scenario. This is more of a relationship scenario. Um, Say there's a man and a woman, and they're walking, right? And a beautiful woman is approaching them or walking by them. Picture the woman looking up out the corner of her eye at her man as the woman walks by. Um, why would she be looking at him? I wonder. Well, you censor ladies out there, if there's ever any censors that grace my channel, um, and some, well, basically all women, very few women, I would say, don't fall into this category. But those women will be looking at their man to make sure he's not looking at that woman. Can anybody tell me what that is and why? Well, I will be explaining it. That would be more of a SINE control dynamic. Hence, this is the answer. And as I'm writing this looks very, very weird. This word. So, this is the answer. The control dynamic that I have more or less invented. Did I invent the functions? No, but of course not. But I kind of have put two and two together when it comes to human relations and the cognitive functions. Disclaimer: I don't know anything about psychology you would learn in college or a high school or anything like that. I don't know anything about that. I do know narcissism, though, like the back of my hand. I spent countless hours studying narcissists. Countless hours. Countless hours. So that'll probably be the only thing. But I have also taken my study of narcs, and I have also taken, or I pretty much know a narc by a function or functions or personality types or the functions that a narc would use. And I know most likely or the highly or the most likely personality types to be narcs. I know those. So let me get back on topic here before I drift. So with this dynamic, it explains a lot. And as you can see, these two right here, yes, this is not NI, this is not any. These are S's. So what does that tell you? It means these are sensor functions, which means I'm talking about sensors here. So the sensor and their need for control in any and every situation. So for the example I gave in a relationship, with the lady making sure her husband isn't looking. And then it's vice versa with men as well. It's vice versa. It works both ways. So in the event the man does look and the woman catches him, then guess what he gets? He gets this right here. Oh, so you think she's hotter than me? Why are you looking at her? Blah, 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 blah. You get that. Do you think she looks better than me? Blah, 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 blah. So, so that's why she was looking to make sure he was staying within the control dynamic here by not looking. And you get the drift. So the thing is, this is one of her, and you can also picture this circle, these circles, as webs. Okay, you can also picture these circles as webs. So if you are in a relationship of any kind, friend, husband and wife, mother, daughter, or mother, son, or father, son, father, daughter, if it's a sensor that we're talking about here, there's a definite control dynamic at play. Do you know why? Because sensors, I'm going to do this a little simpler. Because these guys, cognitively, don't have a choice. They have no option. I mean, they have a choice, but I'm talking more of instinctually, unconsciously. I'm talking about on that level. They don't have a choice because that's not how their brains were made, instinctually. So the thing is, so this dynamic is at play. So, like I said, in the example of the young lady with her husband, and I'll probably put the video clip that I saw it from. I'll probably include it in the video so you guys can get a visual of what I'm talking about. Also, I'll give you another example of the SINE dynamic. Say on a first date or first couple of dates when you initially meet somebody. Have you ever heard certain discussions about this? What is your credit score? What kind of car do you drive? Things like that. Car. Do you have a stable? Now, these things are not bad, but I'm just pointing out the fact that this dynamic, those questions arise from this dynamic. You're being pre screened. You're being pre screened. So, like I said, if you know me or if you know SI, the two main characteristics of SI is comfort. If I have enough room, and security. And this is basically why you get the questions below. This is why. Because if it's a female, she's, or if it's a female, did I spell that right? It doesn't look like it. Okay. So It's a female. I mean, like I said, this can be a man as well. It doesn't matter. But since I'm a guy, and you know, I've, you could look at what was there 6.5 billion sensors. So out of every woman I've ever dated in my whole life or been with my whole life, 90% of them are sensor women. So I have expertise in this field. So um, so yeah. So when you get these kinds of questions or concerns, that would be this right here. That would be SI. Okay. So these types of things matter very much to a woman and man. But like I said, I'm a guy. And if you look across dating, and I'll just say this, there are 6.5 billion sensors on the planet. 6.5 billion. Okay. So 40% of them, or you could say about 38, 39% of them are ISFJs and ESFJs, as they are the two most common women. Okay. So yeah, that's quite a large number. It's quite a large number. And if you look across human history, those two types of personality, those two women, they have basically, they are the dating dynamic. They are the marriage dynamic. How modern dating is structured today, it is all because of them. It is all because of them. You know, the let's break it down. Let's break it down. We got the ISFJ woman here, and I hope I have enough room. And I want to try to hurry up because I can't see my time. I may have to do two videos for this because this is very juicy. So, um, yeah. So yeah, this is the ISFJ woman here. Now, as you know, I draw. This is how the shadow works for me. So the dominant function of the ISFJ shadow is SE. So, and then I'm not going to have enough room. So this isn't kindergarten MBTI here. So you know what comes under TE. So how it works is their shadow is SE. So basically, if you're whatever your dominant function or whatever your shadow's personality type is, that is who you are deep down. Let me repeat what I just said. Whatever your shadow is, that is who you are deep down, quote unquote. That is who you are deep down. No ifs, no ands, nor buts. If you're if you're what is this? If you're an ESFP, if your shadow is an ESFP, deep down that's what you are. So deep down, the ESFP is going to want this characteristic in a man. Most definitely. Most definitely. And how I have explained the SE Dom male, such as the ESTP, I'm mainly talking about the ESTP, mainly. This is the most coveted man among censor women. Let me repeat what I just said. This is the most coveted man among censor women. This guy right here. That is the most coveted man. Why is that? We just pointed it out. What is the censor woman deep down? Or the ISFJ, ESFJ, right here. The dominant. So if you can take the animals in the jungle, you could pretty much say the ESTP would be the lion in the jungle. Now, note how the lion is. Not a care in the world. Everybody does what I say, or there's going to be a price to pay if you're not following my lead. We all know how the line is, the king of the jungle. And that is how the SE-DOM or the ESTP acts in real life. You know, this is why 6.5 billion censor women cannot get enough of them, because deep down, that is what they are. Okay, so showing assertiveness, going after, going out there, working, going towards whatever you want, all that stuff, exuding force, dominance, all that stuff. Since women go crazy over it. This is 2025 years here of history that I'm dropping. Okay, this is 2025 years of history I'm dropping. So this is how it works. But I'm getting away from the actual dynamic here, and I hope I have enough time. So yeah, don't really have a choice. Censors, and this is vice versa. This is vice versa for a man as well. So with this dynamic here, let me go ahead and erase some of this. So with this dynamic, it's very important for whatever guidelines that the censor has set in place to be adhered to. If not, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem, a big problem, such as what I said here with the young lady making looking at the corner out the corner of her eye at her husband or boyfriend, what have you, making sure he's not looking at the much more attractive lady that's approaching them. So how the dynamic works is, and if you look, I'll put the shadow functions here as well. So we'll just say this is an ISFJ, and this is the shadow of the ISFJ. TENI. So what's going to happen? Now I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. So if he's caught looking at the lady, what he's going to get is a heavy dose of these two functions here. A heavy dose. Like I said before, oh, do you think she looks better than me? I mean, why do you feel you have to look at her? And it's going to be a whole big mess. You guys already know. So, but how it works is she's going to use these functions here as well. She's going to use these functions here as well. But in a negative light, though. In a negative light. How is she going to use these functions? Well, I've said some things already. You know, these guys are going to go crazy. They're going to automatically assume that they know what's going on. Oh, you must think she looks better than me. Oh, why do you have to look at her? Oh, you must want to be in a relationship with her instead of me. All the things. This would be how, in that situation, a person is using their shadow to do what? To do this. Come on, internet. Stay with me. To project. Now, project what? You may add. You may say. You may ask. To project this. Shadow FI. What do I mean by that? They're going to project their shadow FI onto the man. Now, who knows what shadow FI is? Shadow FI has abandonment issues, self esteem issues, not feeling like it's good enough, self worth issues, which I guess you can, put with self esteem, I guess. Big time. When you have FI in your shadow, you deal with these issues. Definitely. Okay. Abandonment issues. Now, if I spell this wrong, don't judge me. Is that DON? Done mint? Abandonment. Okay. So, and then of course, well, this is the new way that I actually do the shadow. This way. This is how I will do the shadow from now on. So, if you have shadow FI and you are, now stay with me, unawakened, 99.999% of the world today is unawakened. So, if you're watching this video, I'm most definitely certain I'm talking to you. So, and if you're a woman, that's times two, maybe even times three. So, this is unawakened FI. And I'm saying women, but it's also men too. Also men too. Understand, I'm an INFJ. I also have shadow FI. But if you've watched any of my videos, my FI is awakened. So I don't have any of these problems. I don't have any of these problems. Me? No. These are foreign concepts to me. They're not even in my vocabulary now. When your FI is awakened, it doesn't even make sense to have these issues. It doesn't even make sense. They're non-existent, they're vapor, they're gone, nothing. So back to what I was saying. So when you have unawakened FI, abandonment issues, self-esteem, self-worth, and then you can fill in the blanks if you can think of any more. So the thing is, this is what the woman is actually projecting onto the man in the first place by looking in the corner of her eye and saying all the things she's saying because it's how she feels about herself. Well, it's because she knows how she feels about herself. And the point is, in the first place, that's why she's seeking a relationship with another human. And this is another, now I'm getting a little deeper. I'm being a little NI here. I'm getting a little deeper. So, and I hope I have enough time. So the thing is, she feels these things about herself. So it goes back to a question: why do humans seek external relationships in the first place? Like at all? Like the last 2025 years? Like why do they do it? Like why? Why do mainly these guys, like I said, 6.5 billion of them, last 2025 years, they run the entire world. They run the world. Schools, jobs, how you go to college, how you go to school from kindergarten or pre-K to getting your doctorate. It's all designed for these guys. That's like I said, 6.5 billion. So there's not a censor alive that should have any excuse of not being successful in anything. Anything. I mean, the world is set up for them with a silver spoon or a golden spoon. So that I really don't get because to me, if you're an SI dom or if you have SI second, to me SI is no different than a fish. Well, a fish with gills. So this is what SI makes the censor in my eyes. I think that's spelled right. So so that SI gives them an uncanny understanding of the external world. An understanding. So it's like a pre-built microchip as far as what you are supposed to do. as far as the external world. Like it's like, I mean, if you want to like fish with gills, being able to breathe underwater. So essentially, can you imagine a fish in water, and they see humans diving in water and they're judging the humans because they can't breathe underwater like them? That's kind of how it works. The censor would be using their SE or to judge or criticize. So back to what I was saying. Um, how this works is, like I said, the reason she's even looking in the first place is because of the abandonment issues she feels in herself. And she's projecting those issues onto the man. So, and essentially, that is the whole reason she's even in a relationship in the first place, because this is how she feels about herself. And she doesn't have this to look deep within herself to awaken this. So, censors need to seek external relationships because of this, especially shadow FI. I guarantee you, shadow FI, 90% of the reason you're seeking a relationship is this. Maybe even 95%, maybe even 97. So, because when you are awakened, like I said, you don't have